Alright, today we're pulling the fuel bowl and the HPOP. This happens to align with me needing an oil change. So, I've already got my oil drained. And next thing we're gonna do is get the fuel bowl out. Right, we got a reservoir cover off. Next thing, to take that bolt out. And this one, probably gonna have to remove my exhaust back pressure valve sensor. Just for your essay, those little caps on the cover are 13 millimeters. These are going to be a 1/2 inch socket. First thing we're going to do is we're going to reach back here, flip this valve, and drain our diesel out of the fuel bowl. Next thing you're going to want to do is remove that line. That's going to be a 5/8. And those two down there are going to be a 9/16. I didn't even notice leaking from that area, but that O-ring was just completely gone. On the left side, you've got the nut, and this is the fitting that actually goes into the fuel bowl. So make sure you twist those separately, or else you're going to over torque your lines and you're going to damage them. Alright, so you are going to have to take the exhaust back pressure sensor off. So just unclip the pigtail, and then you want to get a 1-inch socket down there, put it around the sensor, and just twist it right off. Okay, and then remove this one down here. For the back, disconnect that electrical connection, and then the drain valve here, just push it off. That rubber nipple will just slide right off. And then all you gotta do, once you got those bolts off, just pull it out. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove my bracket so I can get to taking my sensor off and then draining the reservoir. These are 13 millimeter bolts. All right, now I'm gonna remove my reservoir drain plug, and that's gonna be a 3/16 Allen wrench. Now, I have a siphon, but my tubing's too thick, so we're gonna use the old shampoo bottle method. All right, now we are going to put our new O-rings on our HPOP. So first, 2 of them are gonna go internally in the hose connections. 2 are gonna go between the fitting and the body. 1 is gonna go on the rear plug. So it's gonna be your IPR down there, the O-ring on that. Alright, so your electrical connection to your IPR, it's got this little clip. Just flip that up, and then you can pull that electrical connector right out. Next thing you're gonna do is take off this nut, and it's a 19 millimeter. And then your rear plug is gonna be a 11/16. Now for your oil lines, all you're gonna do, take a little tool, stick it right there. Take a little tool, stick it right there between the black and the metal fitting of the hose. Push it in there, just pop it off. Same thing for where it connects to the head. So those fittings are going to be a 3/4 socket. Be very careful when you remove those, because you can see down in there there's a spring, a little disc at the end of it. If you lose those, you are going to have no power. Alright, once you got that nut off, this part just slides right off. Same thing with the solenoid. Twist it a little bit, just pull it right off. Alright, now to get your actual IPR valve off, you're going to need a 1 1/8 extra deep socket. Alright, as you can see, here's all my components that we're going to be replacing the O-rings on. This is for my plug. It's going to be the number 1 O-ring. It's going to go right there. All these O-rings look pretty decent, but we're going to replace them anyway, lubricate them in some oil, and then we'll keep the old ones and use them as spares as necessary. Number 2 goes to my rear plug on the HPOP. And then we have the 2 fittings for the internals, and also the 2 that go from the surface of the fitting to the HPOP. and then our O-ring for our IPR valve. So I'll throw those on, and all we gotta do is put it back together, move on to the fuel bowl. We got the O-rings for our oil rails. Not gonna be doing those today, but in this package also are the fittings for the internal O-rings for the fittings for the HPOP to the head. So we'll be doing that as well. Now for these internal O-rings for the fittings, you can see them down in there. I've got this one kind of halfway out. I just took my little dental tool, just very carefully worked it out without puncturing it, and then we'll push the new one in there. Now on to rebuilding the fuel bowl. First thing you're gonna do is remove the fuel pressure relief with a torque bit. Was gonna go through and show you guys rebuilding the fuel bowl, but what I'm gonna do is recommend that you check out Living on Wheels video of rebuilding his fuel bowl. He does a great job of explaining everything. Just know that you're gonna need your little tool to get your O-rings off. You're gonna need a 3/16 Allen wrench, needle nose pliers, and then you're gonna need a T20 and T25 Torx bit. Thanks for watching.